On behalf of the Independence Chamber of Commerce and the City of Independence, because we are co-sponsored by the community and the city, and welcome to First Friday for the month of August. I say this every time. I don't know where the months go, but they are going fast and furious. Before we hear from our business sponsor, we're going to change things up this morning. We have a presentation that we want to make just right off the bat. So at this time, I would like to invite to the podium our city commissioner. He is also a Pride Committee member, Gary Hogsett, and the recipients this morning of Invest in Indy, Rod and Melissa Lester. I would also like to invite the rest of the Pride Committee members, if you're here, to just join me over here while Gary makes the presentation. Gary, if you want to stay right here for the camera.
Okay.
Then we'll get Rod and Melissa. Come on over.
She's breaking the #1 rule, never hand a microphone to a politician. Hey, guys. So you want the committee here, too? Or? Okay, right there. Okay, so most of you probably know that a few months ago, the Pride Committee decided to start a monthly award, the Investing in Independence Award, for people who are really, really helping, investing in independence and really making the town beautiful. And normally, that's somebody that's investing in a home and making it, you know, just a lot more beautiful than it was when they acquired it. And I have the tremendous privilege of touring this home. Most of them we only see the outside. You know, we get the drive-by photos, which I'm going to show you now. So here's the before photo when they bought it, and the after photo. And it is, I'm telling you, spectacular. Yeah, absolutely. And I got to see the inside, so hey, nanner. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I've decided to put these two on my staff as consultants for all creative design and any future projects. Anyway, we have the certificate. This month's selected couple for our Investing in Independence Award. We'd love to get a photo with the group. We're going to put this sign out in front of your house for the month of August. And again, thank you so much for your... Talk to Lisa Wilson for the check. I'm sure it's a monster. We'll give you a $5 Main Street bucks, right, Teva? There you go. Thanks, guys. Congratulations. Let's head over to the photo. Come this way.
We need to come to you. There we go. All right. Divide yourselves up evenly. We're going to join you on this side.
By the way, these guys start to work early. Rod starts at 7, so he is out the door, and I think you have to head out too. Yeah. But anyway, thanks so much for coming this morning, and again, appreciate your investment very much. Take care.
I love those presentations. We meet every single month and we look at all of these photos of homes and properties that have been invested in, and it's always, it's just so nice to have a problem on trying to figure out which home to honor, because there are a lot of people out there making a difference in our community, and we appreciate that. So, all right, we are ready to move on. Usually the first thing we do is we thank our business sponsor. Our business sponsor this morning, as you can tell from the flyers, is Knoll Chiropractic, and they are the ones who I always say paid for your breakfast, best coffee in town from Annie Mae's Coffee Shop, and of course some great muffins. So at this time, would you please welcome Dr. Scott Knoll from Knoll Chiropractic.
Thank you. I think it's a great pleasure to be here, and I love this community. And I wanted to start by telling you a little story about our office, how we started. And I've heard Gary get up several times since they moved here and tell the story about how he and his wife, Dr. Ann, moved here and picked Independence over all these other communities that could have been here or they could have went to. So after World War II, my father got out of World War II and he went and set up a practice in Oscoda, Michigan. And he was up there and found some equipment that was for sale in Independence. So he took the train from Oscoda, Michigan to Independence, and he said he got to Kansas City, and he sat on the train next to a guy that was from Independence that was I think the vice president of Union Gas Systems. And that guy talked up Independence all the way down here. So they talked from Kansas City to Independence, and he got here, and it was February, and people were running around in shirt sleeves. It was a beautiful day, and he loved it, and he loved this community. So he went back to Michigan, and they had 2 feet of snow on the ground, and he asked my mother, he said, how would you like to move to Independence, Kansas? And she said, anywhere but here, let's go. So in 1949, they moved to Independence, Kansas, and he set up his practice here in town, and we've been here ever since. And I'm so honored to be here and honored to have my son in here, our 3rd generation of chiropractors. So we've been here for 70 years now, and it's exciting from what we see and what we see in here, and I'm so happy for Lisa and Tabitha and everybody here that talks up this community. It is one of the greatest communities that I think that we have anywhere in the United States. We see a lot of patients from all over southeast Kansas. We have people coming from Oklahoma, Missouri. We've had patients come from Kansas City, Salina, Wichita, and even one clear out by the Colorado border. But they all come here, and a lot of the people say, boy, I love this town. They've got so many things to do here. And I think some of the people that come from out of town see what we have, and some of the people that lived here, sometimes we take for granted what we have. So we're real happy to be here. I'd like to introduce some of my staff. I've been here now practicing for 39 years, almost 39 years. And when we were telling people it was our 70th anniversary, one of my patients looked at me and said, I didn't think you were that old. So I wanted to tell people I haven't been here the whole 70 years, but I've been here for quite a while, and hopefully we'll make it another 70. I have been on the board of directors of the Kansas Chiropractic Association for probably 25 years. I was named Doctor of the Year for the state of Kansas in 2016, which was a big honor. I've always appreciated that. But I want to introduce my staff, or the other doctors. Dr. Logan Nall is here. And he started with us about a year ago. After he got out, he did an internship in Atlanta, Georgia, and worked with some big doctors that we have in our profession. One of them that he interned with did a lot of work with a neuroradiologist and doing work with upright MRIs. So he's got a lot of experience on that, and it's exciting to see some of that new stuff like that we're hoping that we can get some of that technology around here one of these days too. So he's right now in the process of doing a diplomate program, which is a 300-hour postgraduate study in the cranial cervical junction, which is the base of the skull and the brainstem area. So he's in the process of doing that. He goes to 1 week in a month for 2.5 years to get that, but when he gets that finished, he'll be pretty much an expert in the brainstem area. So we're looking forward to having that with us. He also does a blog every Wednesday called Wellness Wednesday. So if you like our Facebook page or look on our website, he has little just insights about health. Also, we have Dr. Audrey Tullis with us, but she's not here today. She just gave birth to a brand new baby boy last week, and we told her that was an excuse that she could miss that. So I don't know exactly when she'll be back working with us, but she does DOT physicals for truck drivers and bus drivers, stuff like that, and she's certified in acupuncture. She also has a postgraduate study in functional medicine, so she's a great asset to our team too. We also have Tisha Wood with us today. She's our office manager, and she knows everything about insurance. She's also certified to take x-rays and does a lot of other work. Everything else that we don't want to do, we let her do. So she does fantastic with that. She formerly worked at Mercy Hospital, and I said we were all sad when Mercy Hospital left, but I said the best thing that happened with the closing of Mercy Hospital is that we got Tisha to work for us, and she's a great asset to our team there. So the stuff that we do at our office, and we do things a lot different than a lot of chiropractors. We utilize one of the most advanced and well-researched chiropractic techniques, which is very low force, and we have a laser-aligned digital x-ray machine that helps us to figure out exactly what kind of problem somebody has, and we use laser-aligned adjusting instruments too to help with that. So The other part, we've also got, we try to focus on healthcare. And if you look at the back of Tish's shirt, which we've printed up for our 70th anniversary, it says, it's not about your back, it's about your health. Even though we work on backs, and chiropractors always think of people with back pain and neck pain, we try to work on health. So we do a lot of work with people on their dietary, exercise, anything else that we can do to promote health. That's our main goal. All of our doctors are available to speak to groups or that you have that you'd want to talk about any kind of health, nutrition things and things like that. So if you have any questions, call our office. Tish will be glad to answer those. And if she can't, we guarantee that we'll have one of our doctors get back with you that day. But we thank this community and the surrounding area for 70 years of being in Independence, and we hope we'll be around for at least another 70. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Stay right here. Thank you very much, and congratulations on 70 years. We're going to take care of another little couple pieces of business. But before we do, I want to remind you that you've got some swag on your table. So don't walk out of here this morning without your mug from Knoll Chiropractic. You have some pins that look like scoliosis, and you have earbuds, and there's all kinds of fun things on there. And then there are some cards on the table that have pictures of all the doctors and some more literature. So be sure and grab those when you leave. Part of what we do at First Friday, because it is co-sponsored by the city, is we take this opportunity to recognize businesses for reaching significant milestones. We always say, when you celebrate, we celebrate right along with you. And we're celebrating with two major contributors to our community, and we're very, very excited to recognize them this morning. The first plaque presentation will go to James and Sonia Cantrell from Cantrell's Fine Jewelry, who have been in business in Independence, supporting our downtown for 10 years. So at this time, I would like to ask that you come forward, and we will present you with your plaque. If we could have city representation, Kelly, and commissioners that are here, and Mac, if you want to come on up, we will do that. Presenting them with their 10-year plaque, and it says, "Thank you for being a part of the business community in Independence, Kansas since 2009. So congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you guys just stay right here. We're going to continue on. So we have the other plaque, so if everybody from Knoll Chiropractic could join us. This one says, Knoll Chiropractic 70-year anniversary. Thank you for being a part of the business community in Independence and serving Southeast Kansas, because they have been in the area since 1949. Congratulations. Like I said, congratulations. It's always fun to be able to give those plaques out. As we always also say, it's you have your flyers on the table that have our speakers listed, and we're going to get started with our speakers. But if you flip that over on the back side, you're going to see all the good things that are happening in the community. And I want to quickly point out just a few. There are opportunities for free sports physicals at Independence Family Medicine during the entire month of August. So if you have a student athlete or a student that needs to get their physical taken care of, mark that on your calendar. Family night at the aquatic centers coming to an end. I think August the 8th is the last day that the aquatic centers open. So make sure that you get in all your swims right now. Farmers Market's going strong on Saturday mornings. Saturday morning tomorrow, we have recycling from 8 to noon, so bring your recyclables out. But more importantly, if you are someone who wants to volunteer at recycling, I would gladly take your help. And so be sure and see me afterwards if you are someone who wants to get plugged in tomorrow or in future months. All About Kids is happening Saturday as well from 9 to 12 at the high school. That's an event where you can really get your kids' health in check. They have free vision screenings and some hearing screenings, health screenings. The K's will be serving lunch and breakfast for a minimal fee, and activities, inflatables. There's a flyer about it on the table, but lots of fun. We're going to have a shout out about Nee Wallace. I'm going to skip past that. Mid-Continent Band will have their last performance on August the 6th, so you definitely want to be out there and take advantage of that. And St. John Clinic is also offering free sports physicals on August the 7th. And Leadership Independence is accepting applications to their program. So if you are interested in that, you can stop by the chamber office and you can get an application. I believe they're on Facebook, and we can email them to you as well. We take the first 20 applications. We're going to hear about a triathlon. We're going to hear about a block party after we're done. Independence Goes Back to School is on August the 13th. So make sure you mark your calendar for that. That's also the evening of the SEK Cancer Support Group. I want to give a shout out to Jim Carell. He'll be doing the Entrepreneurial Mindset class August the 14th. So get signed up for that. I've been through that. It's definitely beneficial. I encourage you all to participate if that's something that you're interested in. All Wheels Night, we'll have Kids Night on August the 16th. So bring your kids down because we'll be doing face painting and glow bracelets and all kinds of fun things. And that will be the evening of the 16th. And then the YPI will be having a summer speaker series on the 20th. Chamber will be having business after hours at Class LTD. So if you are a chamber member, mark that on your calendar. The movie night will be on the 24th of this month, so mark your calendar for that. Pre-show is at 7:30. We're going to have inflatables, all kinds of fun things that night. And then on August the 30th, the high school will have their can opener, which is their scrimmage and food drive. So be sure and mark that on your calendar as well. And if there are things that we've missed, things you want added, corrections that need to be made, let me know and we will get that taken care of. All righty, we are ready. So I've got 4 great speakers ready for you to speak, ready to present to you this morning. And what's cool about it is they're all very, very different. And I've met them in such an eclectic way. So I'm excited for you to hear from them. I was walking down the halls of Annie Mae's at different meetings that I attend, and I always go by the quilt shop. And I'm not a seamstress, I'm not a quilter, but I'm always amazed at what all is happening inside the quilt shop. And so I walked in there one day and happened to just be conversing with Janet, and she starts telling me all these amazing stories of her mission and her work that she's doing in there. And I said, oh my gosh, you've got to come and speak at First Friday. So at this time, would you please welcome the owner of the Little Orange Patch, the quilt shop in Independence, Kansas, Janet Mays.
First, I'd like to say thanks for having me today. Thanks for asking me. When we made a conscious choice to bring quilting out of the house and into the public, my first thought was I didn't want to be a retail store. I wanted to kind of be a community builder. We have 9 children, and so we kind of always run our thoughts past our kids, and most generally they tell us we're crazy, but... So I told them, I said, I want to open a quilt studio, but I don't want to have retail. I really don't want to sell fabric. And they're like, once again, Mom, you're crazy. It won't work. But I had this vision that we could actually be a community builder in several ways. And so one of my vision was recycling. I was reading some articles about how fabric and material products are actually a crisis in a lot of landfills because trends change so fast that a lot of this stuff is going to landfill. If you'll notice, your thrift stores are completely overrun with things that are never either sold and not repurposed. So we started out with feeling like we could quilt with men's 100% cotton shirts, and out of an extra large shirt we can actually yield about 1 to 1.5 yards of fabric. So we carry those in tubs and we cut them up and we fold them and we leave those out there to pass on to the community for free. We also realize that a lot of times there's a situation maybe in an estate or someone becomes ill, and it's been a lifelong quilter who all of a sudden has all of this fabric, and either the family or the quilter doesn't know what to do with it. And so we decided that we felt that people always knew what to do with furniture or with clothing or even eyeglasses and cell phones, but did they know what to do with fabric? So we decided to start a program where you can donate the fabric, and then we pass that along to community members that need the fabric. So what we do is we try to keep it clean and washed and shelved, and someone can come in and just pull fabric for free off of those donated shelves, or they can take fabric and donate a little bit of laundry soap so that we can keep it clean, or they can exchange fabric for fabric. So I have several ladies that help with this program. When we first decided to kind of start talking about it, the first phone call I had, a friend of mine, her mother had passed away. She'd quilted for a long time, and she said, I want you to come pick up her fabric. The back of my Jeep was full. We had between 500 and 600 yards of fabric that we came home that we're still washing and trying to get out on the shelves. We feel that whenever you give opportunity, that opportunity equals empowerment. And so now I see individuals quilting that have maybe always wanted to but not had the means to, and now they have the opportunity to give back to their family or to do things, make heirlooms that they hadn't been able to do before. The other thing we do is we have classes. We have had one beginner's block of the month this year. We just opened up October the 16th, and the second quilt in the middle is actually a beginner quilter, and you're welcome to look at them afterwards. They put out some beautiful things that looked like they had been quilting for years, and it was actually a skill builder so we could build their skills so that they could go out and know how to read a pattern and quilt themselves. Some of the goals that we have for the next year, like I said, we've only been open since October the 16th. We made another conscious choice that my kids thought was crazy, not to advertise or to put any signage out or to do anything like that for the first year, in order to kind of figure out if this was going to work, what did we need to change, in what direction did we need to go. When we opened up last year on October the 16th, of course, right before Neowalla, we were overcome and didn't really expect that, and ended up with so many orders that I quilted until December the 22nd. Now we generally have anywhere between 10 and 30 quilts in line to be quilted all the time. We have actually had one from Missouri and a couple from Oklahoma already, and we are kind of tiptoeing into a little bit of the custom work, which you'll see a little sample of on the first chair right there. So some of our goals for the next year is we would like to have a retreat here in Independence. I feel that that would be a wonderful opportunity for us to gather and to share all of our ideas, have a weekend together and fellowship, and continue to build that community, and maybe even make Independence one of those great spots for the retreat every year. It could bring business into Independence. We could use catering services. We'd use the hotels and things like that. And when I talk to the local quilters, they get very excited about that, because presently they leave town for that. We don't want them to leave town for that. We want them to come in town for that. The other thing that we are trying to start, and I've been in contact with organizations throughout the state of Kansas, just 2 or 3 right now, but we would like to start a program called Stocking Up for Kansas Kids, where we have a specific pattern, and you can use the donated fabrics or scrap fabrics that you have at home, where we make Christmas stockings all throughout the year. We stock those up, and then we allot so many of those to organizations that are taking care of children in foster care. So I'd like to get that started. It's something that I've been talking to a few of the local groups about, and there seems to be a lot of interest in it right now. We'd like to continue with the donated fabrics program. We feel that it's very important here. And the other thing that we would like to do is we'd like to have a youth summer sewing camp. Unfortunately, I reached out to a lot of large corporations like Singer and Brother and Baby Lock and all of those, and they have no interest in donating sewing machines in order for us to pass that skill along to youth. So we're kind of working on that ourselves a little bit. We've set up 4 little sewing centers in our place right now, and we also have a local person that has working on a grant for things for youth in the summer, and have included us as maybe part of the curriculum if this grant would go through. That's really all that I have for you. You're more than welcome to come up and look at some of the quilts. I'd love for you to stop by and see us sometime. Thank you.
It's one of those little treasures in our community that you may or may not have known about. But like I said, it's such a cute shop. So it's just walk into Annie Mae's and keep on going, and well, stop and get some muffins and some coffee. Then walk on down the sidewalk inside, and on the right-hand side you will see the quilt shop. So I encourage you all to stop by. Our second speaker today was completely kind of an accidental relationship that I built. I was at a going away party for a friend of mine, and I met Bernadette Gregory, and the next thing I know, I'm connected with the Experimental Aircraft Association, and go figure. But anyway, we have an amazing airport. We have an amazing group of experimental aircraft pilots, they're pilots, and they're interested in the EAA. They're very supportive, and not only that, but they want to encourage our youth to embrace aviation. So this morning, would you please welcome pilot Ken Doyle.
This was a bit of a surprise for me too, because I wasn't scheduled to do this. The guy that we volunteered to do it went out of town. So, but I'm excited to tell you a little bit about our program. The Experimental Aircraft Association is a national organization. They put on a week-long program in Oshkosh, Wisconsin every year. Some of you may have heard that, Oshkosh, or may have heard about AirVenture as it's now called. But it is probably one of the largest fly-ins where all kinds of aircraft come in to Oshkosh, and they have a week-long camp out or hotel stay, whatever. We have had a lot of pilots from here fly their own aircraft up there. We have a local chapter here, Chapter 980, a local EAA chapter. EAA stands for Experimental Aircraft Association, but it doesn't mean just experimental. The whole purpose of the EAA is to sponsor aviation in general, particularly general aviation. We focus on not only experimental aircraft, which is typically a home-built, something somebody has built themselves, but we also, in fact, most of the pilots that are in the organization have certified aircraft, and certified aircraft like Cessna makes. In fact, there are a number of people that own Cessna aircraft that fly them. So we focus on general aviation in general, not just on experimental aircraft. Most of us, or at least myself included, are mechanically challenged, and so we change the oil, but we don't build airplanes. But there are some people that do. So the organization has decided to put on a fly-in this year. This isn't the first year that the organization has put on a fly-in. Independence had fly-ins from mid-90s or so up until about 2012. And they were all sponsored by our local organization out at the Independence Airport. We meet on the third Monday evening of every month. We have our own building out there, and guests are welcome to come out at any time. But we hadn't put on a fly-in for several years. They've been being put on by Parsons Tri-City Airport. So for the last 20 years, Southeast Kansas has had kind of a history or a tradition of putting on a good fly-in. Independence is such a perfect place because we have such a strong aviation base here with Cessna, Kansas Aviation, PAC, Kelly Services. It's just a natural for growth in the aviation business. Parsons had put on the fly-in for the last 5 years, but this year Independence is going to do it, mostly because Parsons' event became so popular that it became a safety issue. Parsons does not have a taxiway separate from the runway, and therefore when pilots landed or took off, at some point they had to back taxi on the runway. They flew about 150 kids last year, free airplane rides in Parsons, and so it just became a little bit of a safety issue for them. And when they decided not to do it, we decided we would pick up the baton and just do it ourselves and just continue on the tradition of a Southeast Kansas fly-in. So that's how it came back to Independence. Independence and Parsons have always worked very closely together with the fly-ins. We're going to have people from Parsons participating in this. So it's an ongoing event, and we hope to make it bigger over the next few years. But we're getting back into it now, so it's somewhat of an experiment, if you will, at this stage, but we're doing it. The fly-in activities naturally includes other pilots flying in from other locales, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and from Kansas. And they fly in, we're going to have breakfast, we're going to have lunch, we're going to have tours of some of the business facilities out at the airport. We are going to have maybe baked goods out there that you can buy. I'm hustling them. We're going to have just a variety of events. The police department is going to participate. The Army here in Independence is going to participate. I think Labette Health is going to participate. They may be providing a helicopter, and fire department is going to participate with a fire truck, in part for safety, but more so the community can come and see this equipment. Look inside a helicopter, a medevac helicopter, look inside the fire truck, talk to the police about neighborhood watch programs, that kind of thing. So it's kind of a multifaceted activity. One of the things we hope to do, and this is still in the planning stages, in part because we've had a difficult time getting some of the universities, outside universities, to correspond with us. Oklahoma State University has indicated an interest. K-State University has indicated an interest to coming to Independence on the day before the fly-in. The fly-in is going to be September the 14th, which is on a Saturday, and on September the 13th, we are hoping to have a career aviation day out at the college. We've got a room reserved at the college. I think there's even going to be some food provided, but the idea is to get local high school and college kids from around the area, not just from Independence, to come in and hear about careers in aviation. It'll be a career day for the schools. We want kids to make the connection between pilots, mechanics, air traffic controllers, dispatchers. There's a number of different kinds of careers that people can go into, and there's going to be a big demand for all of these careers over the next few years. We would like for Independence to kind of move that forward. And so K-State and OSU have indicated an interest, but they've not been very good yet about getting back to us and committing. But they have aviation departments, aviation training in those two universities. If we can get them to come up, maybe Spartan out of Tulsa to come up, and maybe a couple of people that are actually into aviation that can give some a little bit of lecture, if you will, to the kids. Tell them a little bit about what careers are available. So that's on the drawing board. We don't know if that's going to come off or not. If it doesn't this year, we think it will next year. The Kansas Department of Transportation Aviation Department is on board. They are even going to provide a keynote speaker for us, help sponsor this whole thing. So if that comes across, it'll just be a real coup for Independence. It'll kind of help put Independence on the map for more than just Independence students. Another activity that we're going to do is the Young Eagle program. The Experimental Aircraft Association, the national department, started a Young Eagle program, 20 years ago. Approximately 2 million kids have flown in this program since it was started. And what it is local pilots contributing their aircraft, their time, their fuel cost to fly kids between the ages of 8 and 17. Give them a free flight. Let them see what aviation is about. We do a little training with the kids, just let them know how airplanes work, talk about ground school, provide them with some literature. We actually have a book we're going to give to them that basically tells them about how to fly an airplane. It's got ground school information in it for them. Basically get them motivated about aviation in general. I've got a young recruit back here whose grandfather is part of the organization, and we're going to get her flying. She's not even been up with her grandfather yet, but her mother says maybe now. So we're going to get her flying, but we hope to have 100 to 150 students or kids flying in airplanes this year. We're still looking for more pilots. We've got about 6 pilots that are qualified to do this. Qualified meaning that they have to pass the EAA criteria. They have to have a background check because they're working with kids. They've got to have insurance on their aircraft. The aircraft has to be in current annual. We have to do an annual inspection of our aircraft every year. The pilots have to be current on their medical and their license and so forth. And they get certified, if you will, by the EAA to perform these flights. Most of us pilots have done these kinds of flights for years. There is one pilot not in our organization, but that has flown over 3,000 kids all by himself. Now he may have a 4 or even 6 place aircraft, and he's taken a whole bunch of them at one time. My airplane is me and a passenger, small passenger. But we have aircraft that will be flying 4 kids. We may even have a 6 place airplane. It's nice if the kids can fly in the co-pilot seat, because whoever's flying in the co-pilot seat can actually put their hands on the controls if the pilot's comfortable with that. But the Young Eagle program is probably the most difficult aspect of forming the fly-in, because we've got to get all the kids registered, ideally online in advance. But they can also just show up, and they've got to have a parent there who has to sign the permission slip. And we hope to do 100 to 150 kids this year. The kids can register online. You can Google for the Chapter 980 Facebook page. We have a couple of posters over here with registration information. I put some business cards over here. You can pick that up and contact me. We're still interested in having community sponsors, either paying sponsors or people that will show up and put something out at the airport to kind of make this a community event. So it's not just promoting aviation, it's promoting independence, and promoting independence beyond just Independence, but even into Oklahoma and Arkansas. We're asking pilots from Oklahoma and Arkansas to come up and help us do the Young Eagles. We're a little anxious that we'll have more people than we have seats for, which is a good thing, because eventually we can get all the kids flown, even if we can't do it on the 14th. So I invite all of you to participate, come out and see the airplanes, see what aviation is about in Independence, make it a nice, fun day. We've ordered good weather, but for airplanes, that's always an iffy thing. But come out. We look forward to seeing everybody. And if you would like to help sponsor T-shirts or other activities that's going on, or to have some kind of a little booth to hand out business information, pick up one of my business cards over here and just give me a holler and we'll get you fixed up. Thank you.
Thank you. I bet you didn't even know we had an EAA in town. So very, very exciting. And can you just imagine how we would blow the doors off of Textron if we grow our own and we get all of our kids out to fly-ins like this and they embrace a love of aviation and go into that field, and then more and more and more jobs come to our community. So, okay, so our next speaker might be an unfamiliar face to you, but I hope that he becomes a very familiar face to you. He's played an active role in our leadership program by doing step-on tours for our leadership and our high school leadership as he takes them around Elk City State Park and shows off our community gym. So would you please welcome the new manager of Elk City State Park, Jacob Gio.
Hello and good morning. Thank you everyone for having me. I believe I have a slideshow up here that's just going to have some pictures, stuff like that. To start out, I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit about who I am, how the community and the park can definitely benefit from each other, the future plans I have for the park, how y'all can get involved if you want to, and the current state of the park, which everyone seems eager to be hearing about. I saved the best for last, trust me. Okay. I grew up in Chanute, just up the road. Graduated from Pittsburgh State University with undergrad of Parks and Recreation. Then I furthered it with Recreation Administration. Immediately after college, I went to Devil's Den State Park, just outside of Fayetteville, Arkansas. I'm sure you can kind of hear that. I picked that up there. I don't know how. After that, I went to Petit Jean State Park, which is one of the largest state parks in America. It saw 1.2 million people a year. And so that, really competed with a lot of the national park numbers. So I was park ranger at both of those places. I learned a lot, and what I've learned there I'm going to try to bring back to here. Let's see. So I moved here in December where I took the job at Elk City State Park. I grew up coming to the state park, and that's really what got me to choose the career that I did, because I fell in love with it out here, fell in love with the hiking trails, the nature, just everything about it is what got me here. And as an outsider from Chanute, I kind of, whenever I thought of independence, I was like, yeah, But hold that thought. I want to say I'm completely blown away by this place. Riverside Park is a gym. When I studied recreation, I went all around parks in America, all around the Midwest. I've never seen anything like that in a small town. Your community, downtown, is very aesthetically pleasing. It's gorgeous. There's always something to do here. So I just want to say you guys are doing a great job. My goal for Elk City is I want people to kind of see Elk City the way that I see Independence as an outsider coming in. I want them to say, wow, this is the best state park in Kansas. And we have the resources available to do it. And we'll touch on that here in a little bit. All right, where was I? Let's see if this works. Okay. Basically, what we have going on at Elk City right now is we have a lot of repeat people coming. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to get people from outside to come in. When I was at Arkansas, I worked at what I would like to call a destination park. We had people from all over America coming to see what we had. And we have I cannot read that to save my life. Okay. But we had that, we have the potential here with the best hiking trails in Kansas. We have what I think, in my opinion, the best sunset in Kansas, there at Sunset Point. We have a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of outdoor recreation activities. We have some of the only not mountain climbing, but rock climbing. We have mountain biking, all sorts of cool stuff out there. But in 1997, I know that's a long time ago, we actually contracted out to do a new study on this, but this is the most up-to-date study, so it might be a little bit dated. I can't read that number, but that's how many visitors we had last year, okay? And according to this study, the average people that would come and visit the park, they would spend about $12, okay? In the local community, not at the park. They'd, go in town, grab a bite to eat, maybe hit up Stoney's, grab a brew. But yeah, so the average person spent $12, and if you take the top number times 12, it equals that bottom number. I can't read them, but you can, so that'll give you the idea. But here's some of the factors that we have on visitation right now. Like I said, we have the repeat customers. It's kind of interesting. We have what I call the 80-20 out there. 80% of our business comes from 20% of the people. And I'm not saying that that's not great, because I appreciate everybody that comes out there and spends their money out there. Your hard-earned dollars you're coming to spend, that is awesome. But I'm trying to reach a new demographic and new people that can come out to the park and see how great Independence is and see how great the park is. We have something out there that not a lot of other parks have. Most parks are in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing to do around them, so they're going to go camp and do nothing. You know, they're just going to camp, hang out on the lake. But Elk City gives you the opportunity, go check out Independence. Go check out Riverside Park. Go check out Monkey Island. You know, which is really cool, by the way. Another thing on visitation is we get what I call the gawkers, the people that just come out there to look. And we had a lot of that going on with the flooding that's been happening. And trailheads. We really haven't been counting the trailhead numbers that we have on the best trails in Kansas. So that's kind of the impact that we have on the local economy in 1997. So I'm sure it's greater than that now. So I'm sure you're wondering, what's this destination park that you're talking about? Well, Elk City's kind of what I would call a lake park right now, where we're busiest in the summer when it's hot, and that's our main time from, well, the time that we've been closed is our moneymaker. So Memorial Day to Labor Day, that's generally where 90% of our income comes from. I'm trying to reach that point, what I call the dead period. I'm trying to get more people there during that time. So there's ways we can do that, and a lot of it is through reaching the younger generation through social media. Petit Jean State Park had the big waterfall. Devil's Den State Park had the big outlook. We got something at Elk City. We have the best hiking trail, but not a lot of people realize that. So if we can kind of expand that on social media by using the hashtags and all that stuff, so that'll be good. I don't know what's next on here. So, okay, this is kind of going to be my future plans that I have for the park coming up, to try to get more people there. The Blue Water Trail grant, I filled this out, and it's basically to get loaner kayaks. Kayaks are a huge thing. I don't know if you do it or have done it. I do whitewater kayaking, probably the most fun you can have. But this Blue Water Trail grant is just, I think we're going to have 20 kayaks that we can just loan out to people, check them in, check them out. New utility sites. Yeah, we got approved for 20 new utility sites. Some in Upper Comfort Cove where we took out some in Lower Sunset Point. And I can't read that next one. MBA grant, Motorboat Access Grant. All right. Filled out another grant to improve our boat ramp and improve our boat docks. Because of the flooding, we had 2 totaled boat docks right now. So we got 1. And we also, Cobalt has reached out to us, and they want to donate us a boat dock too. So that's awesome. So hopefully in the next year, we'll have 2 new boat docks, an improved boat ramp, because right now it's kind of not in the best shape. And like I said, I want to keep the people that spend their money out there happy. A summer concert series. This is something that Crawford State Park does. Just every Friday night, you have someone come out there, play music. Everyone can sit around the fire and hang out and listen. We had plans for this summer. I contacted a few local musicians, but Mother Nature had other plans. And with that comes the construction of an amphitheater, something pretty simple. We're going to just convert one of the old toadstools into an amphitheater. I want to put a dog park out there because I'm tired of yelling at people for not having their dogs off leash or not having their dogs on leash. I'm a huge dog person, so I just want to kind of help out the dog people out there. Splash pad. Hey, I think that'd be kind of cool to have out there. It's hot. The water's mucky. That's something that I have to fill out another grant for, but it's out there. I'm going to try it. That one's a maybe right now, but everything else is a for sure. Special events. Educational programming is something that happened in Arkansas State Parks, where it was just to get kids outside and enjoying nature. Something I haven't noticed in Kansas State Parks quite as much, but this includes like a birding weekend where you bring in a bird specialist that can tell you all about the pileated woodpecker, which so many people come to see. Or, bring in live animals. We'll do guided hikes. I'm a huge hiker, so I love these. I can tell you what kind of rock is what. I think it's interesting. Other people think it's boring. Fishing derbies, bring the kids out, reward them for catching any fish, the biggest fish, smallest fish, ugliest fish, whatever there is. And then, unfortunately, we have the Friends group has kind of dismembered, and so the Neowalla events that they've done out there, they're not planning on doing. I'm going to try to get it done, but that's maybe not this year, but definitely next year. Which brings me to my next point, the Friends group. So the Friends group, more or less, don't quote me on this, cut off the camera. It's a money laundering thing. So it's a way to keep your money where your park is, you know. So the money you spend out in the park, you can keep there and buy cool stuff, because we work for the state. So any money we make, we have to report and send it up, and then it spreads out based on visitation. But the Friends group, what they do is they sell things like firewood, the coin laundry system, and it's a group it's an organization that kind of keeps that money. They buy cool things for the park, and it's a volunteer thing, but they do a lot of good. Other parks that I've seen, Crawford State Park does this amazing fireworks show that rivals the cities. I mean, and if we did do that, it would be a separate day, so we wouldn't take anything away from y'all. But they have a restaurant there. They sell beer there. I mean, it's really cool. But yeah, they make your park a better place. It's kind of the whole thing of the Friends group. And right now, we have maybe 2 members. Everyone else is kind of falling off. So if that's something you're interested in helping me out, let me know. I'd be glad to have you. Here's the big stuff. The 2019 flood. So, you know, it didn't quite get as high as it had before. I think it was like 3 inches off the record. But water was up there for like 2 months. We've been closed since May 22nd, I think. Is that when I kicked you out? Okay, all right. Well, so the roads to the park were inaccessible, which we're trying to fix through the emergency management program and through our road funds. We're trying to get the North Road lifted up so we can access our park. But also, these aren't my pictures. These are stuff I found off the internet of a trespasser. Don't do that. No, but so water went over the emergency spillway twice. I think that's a total of 6 times now since the lake's been constructed, and 2 of them were my first year here. Go figure. I'm pretty sure it rained today just because I came here and we're trying to open the park today. So there was countless amount of damage. Like I said, 2 boat docks were totaled. Our shoreline's all yanked up. I can't tell you what the estimated loss is. It's unbearable, but luckily FEMA, okay, they have our backs on that one. But you see there's the Comfort Cove bathhouse, which is built above floodplain, might I tell you. So it got about 6 feet in there. So the lake was actually at like 130% full. And then there you got a basketball goal. So I'm not going to lie, we went and played some water polo. It was kind of fun. However, today's the day that everyone's been waiting for. We're going to open today at noon. Yeah, the day I come here. Thank you. But keep in mind, we're hiring our new AAs starting, our administrative assistant. But so things might be kind of slow as we kick back into things, so please be patient with us. You know, I'm just excited to get it opened as you guys are, because I miss my job. I am tired of picking up brush. I am tired of doing electrical work, and I am tired of just not being the ranger that I signed up to be. So, I mean, we've been working, guys. We've been working 14-hour days. We've had an inmate crew come from Oswego doing nothing but working their butts off. So when you go out there, just, you know, you see someone working, just say, hey, thank you, you know. Because, I mean, you can go to Card Creek right now and see they haven't done anything. And that's kind of, you get the idea of what it looked like before. But I think that's all I got for you guys. There's my email, my number, if you guys are interested in anything I had to say, direct contact. So I want to say thank you guys for having me, and y'all have a good day.
I would say that the Elk City State Park is in pretty good hands with that high energy performance, presentation. And I know that when we've taken the kids out for First Leadership, they absolutely love to get a tour of Elk City State Park. And like he said, it is kind of a gem that we need to promote more, and we plan to help you with that. And I know that there are people that are going to come up to you and say, I want to be a part of the Friends group. And is Barb Burskins here? Yes, there you are. Barb, stand up, please. Jacob, that's the lady and her staff who takes care of Riverside Park and Zoo. So you two need, they do awesome. So yes. All right. So we have one more speaker. He is actually another young professional in our community. So we're excited to have Logan and Jacob. And our next speaker is Eric Figursky, and he is new to the community. He was at ICC last year, and he is here as the new Sports Information Director. Would you please welcome Eric?
All right, I'll just lean in. Usually I'm pushing these down, hanging out with 6'7" football players, so it's a little different transition for me. How y'all doing today? Good. So my name is Eric Figursky. I am from Detroit, Michigan originally. Worked for Shell Oil Company for the last 6 years in Houston, Chicago, Illinois, Columbus, Ohio, Miami Beach, and most recently moved here to be the Sports Information Director, Independence Community College. So a little bit of a goofy transition there. I'll just say that this has always been a dream of mine to get involved in sports, and found out actually about the community through Last Chance U, the good and the bad that comes with that, I was actually moving into Miami Beach with my girlfriend that we were long distance for 2 years. We had got into Miami. I was driving to Home Depot to buy a TV mount and got the call that this job was open. At which point she said, you got to do it. You got to chase your dream. So that's what I'm doing out here today. I'm chasing my dream, and it's a wonderful opportunity to have a chance to speak to all you, everybody here in the community. So Janet mentioned something that, really stuck with me. That was, to paraphrase, opportunity breeds empowerment. So if I talk about chasing my dream and the opportunity that's presented here in this room, I feel empowered. So I feel that if there's a couple headlines I'll get into with some coaches in a minute, but just to kind of preface everything, the opportunity to work with you all in the community is at the forefront of what Coach Harris, the new football coach, is all about. Coach Marasco, the new basketball coach, him and his wife Sam just bought a house in town, and they're excited about engaging the community. Chris Taylor's the new volleyball coach, and this, as you can see, is kind of a cultural thing that we're doing at ICC, that we want to engage the community in every aspect we can. That's why I'm here today speaking with you all, and that's what we think is the most important thing at ICC Athletics going into the fall. With that, a couple thoughts I had, just, as a couple visionaries up here speaking. We could do things like join the retreat, bring out a couple football coaches, football players, have them knit and see, everybody can laugh at them, and we'll we'll figure it out, together as a community. Experimental aircraft, strap a camera on it, and we'll make it film our practices or something like that. I don't think you want like I said, a 6'7" football player in your smaller plane, but. Yeah, so we'll have to, bring in a bigger plane or something for one of our guys to get that opportunity. But we can lift up the road at North Park. I think we might have some or North Road at Elk City Park, right? So, but in all seriousness, that's what we're here for you, which is something that I grabbed from Coach the other day when we were speaking at the business after hours. Was we're here for you. We're here to you guys provide an opportunity for us to do something that is incredible, that I left a job and moved across the country to do, that players are coming into the community chasing dreams that they couldn't do without you. So it's our job as athletics to represent that opportunity and in a great way and really give back. And that's what Coach Harris, like I said, the football coach, is all about. And that's why, he sent me out here today to kind of, see what we can do to continue to build this relationship. Obviously, I'm brand new to this role, but you can see my excitement about getting involved with everybody here. And anything that you guys need, we have 100, we have 85 guys on the roster that are sitting around the dorms looking for something to do. So we'd be happy to get them out and get involved in any way. And they really enjoy it, and we use everything as a team-building opportunity. So with that in mind, I don't have any business cards here, but my phone number, I'll just rattle it off. You guys want to write it down or grab me afterwards. My phone number is 248-974-5713. My email address is efigursky, EFIGURSKI @ndcc.edu. So, like I said, just wanted to come out here. Thank you all for your support. Fall camp starts today. It was supposed to be 6 a.m., but got rained out. So 7 p.m. first practice, and we're excited to get things rolling for the fall. And I'll hang out for a little bit before I have to take our quarterback to the eye doctor because it's important for him to see. But I'll be here for a little bit for any questions or engagement afterwards. Thank you.
All right, so you've got a home game against Dodge City on the 24th. Is that right?
First home game, Dodge City.
Yeah.
Everybody come on out.
Well, you know what? Regardless of what anybody thinks about Last Chance U, we're not going to go into all of that. But you know what? One good thing is we got Eric, so we're excited about that. So welcome to our community. We're glad you're here. Okay, so that's what we have. Those were our great speakers. I think they did a great job of providing lots of really good information. I want to again thank Dr. Knoll and congratulate you on 70 years and thank your staff. And I'm glad Logan has decided to be third generation, is that right? Third generation chiropractor. So we appreciate the support of the community, the support of the chamber, and all that you do to keep us all healthy. So thank you and congratulations again. But we appreciate you as our business sponsor this morning. The Cantrells left because they have to open a jewelry store so that we can all go shopping. And we congratulate them. And we have some shout outs. I want to remind you again before you leave to make sure you grab all of the goodies that were given to you by our business sponsor, Knoll Chiropractic. So speaker shout outs, you know who you are, you know what order to get in. So come on up here and let's get started. Don't go anywhere. They're all on a 30-second or less schedule here. And I've got them all in order. We're going to knock this out. England, hit it.
Hi, I'm England Porter. I'm with an organization called Women for Kansas, which is a nonpartisan organization that organizes women to do different political endeavors. And this year we are beginning to celebrate the 19th Amendment. This is the year that the 19th Amendment passed. The 19th Amendment didn't get ratified until 1920, so next year is the 100-year anniversary of all women getting the right to vote. Yay! Yay! This year we are starting out doing some different activities to inform people and educate people a little bit about the history. The first thing that we're doing starting on Saturday through the rest of the month is on 220 North Penn Street at the old Litwins building. We're going to have an informational display. It's a timeline of what happened with women's suffrage in the United States. There will also be information about women's suffrage globally, as well as information about a variety of different kinds of controversies and context to the history of that movement. On August 9th at the Independence Public Library, we're going to be watching Suffragette, which is a movie about women's suffrage in England. They were pretty rowdy in England compared to the US, actually, for women's suffrage. And then on August 16th, we're going to be having speakers and a presentation at the library. I'm going to just talk about the history and show people a lot of pictures and context about the suffrage movement. And then we're going to have Lieutenant Lisa Helkenberg from the police department come and talk about women in positions of authority in male-dominated workspace. And we're going to have Jean Schodorf come and talk about what it's like to be a woman politician, because she was a state senator, and what it means to have women in positions of power. And then we are going to learn some really cool songs. I hope you enjoy singing. And we're going to do a little march around the block. So if you want to come, there are costumes available. If you would like to dress up, contact me. Also, if you want to wear white to do the little march around. You can also just come and listen to people talk and not march around the block. The march, we're going to have historic posters and things like that in order to show what that movement was like. And then on August 23rd, we are going to be having a book discussion. If you are interested in participating in the book discussion, it's Clarina Nichols' Frontier Crusader for Women's Rights, and we're going to actually have the author of that come in January and speak about that book too. So if you want to get ahead of the game, come there. And we're doing all of this to prepare for next year. Next year is going to be the big year, the 100th year anniversary of women's right to vote. And so we really want to encourage everybody to participate this year so you're prepared for next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Laura, you want to come right over here?
Good morning. Laura Samford, and I'm with Class LTD. We work with individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We have a fun event coming up here, and so this is your save the date. I haven't even posted it on Facebook yet, but it's a murder mystery at the Booth Hotel. It's also a masquerade murder mystery. So this is your chance to dress up, play a character, be somebody else for the evening, and raise some money for a great cause. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Tabitha with Independence Main Street. And I wanted to give a little shout out about our block party on the 10th with ICC. And after listening to Eric, how could you not want to come down and introduce yourself to all his players and new coaches? And just invite them as a community. I know they would love to hear about the trails and your fly-in and all that stuff. So we encourage you to come downtown on the 10th from 6 to 8 and have a hamburger, dilly bars from Dairy Queen and Apricot Lane. And so it's going to be a great time. Come down, set up a booth anywhere. There'll be a DJ. It's kind of like our first Thursday. If you missed last night, we had a great time. Sorry you missed it. We have one more September the 5th. So make sure you mark your calendar for that also. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I know we just started August, but Neowalla is around the corner, and I'm Ann Birdie, the 2019 Generalissimo. The first thing that kicks it off next week, August 5th and 6th, are the auditions for Shrek the Musical. So that is at 6 p.m. at Memorial Hall, and it follows also a tryout Monday, August 12th. And those audition forms and the cast information and song material, all that can be found on our web at neowalla.com. So check that out. The kickoff party is next Thursday, August the 8th, and that is for the program book and anybody who is volunteering on a Neowalla committee to come out. We have the logo t-shirts available. We get our pictures taken for the program book, and there's refreshments and stuff. So my second hat is Saturday, August 10th is Blake's Triathlon. That's our 12th triathlon for the Blake Birdie Cancer Foundation in memory of Blake Birdie. It's for youth and adults, and so we sometimes lately have had more adults that keep joining, so we invite everyone. And like I said, that's August 10th, and it's 8 a.m. at Riverside Park.
And you could use volunteers too, right? Mm-hmm. Good. Come on up, Bren.
Hi, I'm Bryn Birdie, and I'm sure you saw when you walk in, we have Blake's Bake Sale. We actually did it last night too at First Thursday, but we brought it here in case you guys missed it. And all of our proceeds this year are going to the Brooklyn Bots Memorial Scholarship, which is for Gina McLennan in memory of her daughter. And the IHS tennis team started the scholarship, so we're raising money. So please enjoy some baked goods.
Hello.
Good morning. I'm Jenny Soper, and I am the innkeeper at Magnolia Blossom Inn, which is open.
Woohoo!
Yay! I finally made it to First Friday. So I just wanted to let the town know that we're open. I really want to focus on getting your family and friends when they come to visit. If you need extra space, to stick them up in one of the beautiful rooms I have at the Null House, which is what it's been called forever. It's at 501 West Myrtle, and Dr. Null lived there a long time ago. And we have turned it into a bed and breakfast that's just really sweet. And I just really wanted to share the history of that house with the town and with others. And so we're at www.magnoliablossomin.com. That's our website. The telephone number's on there and everything. So I hope to see you guys. And I'm going to have I joined the chamber, and so we're going to have a ribbon cutting sometime soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here. We can connect and talk ribbon cutting. Yep. What's really strange, was it 70 years ago? You wasn't 70 that you lived there, right? No, Bill Birdie. So Bryn's grandpa came into the office, who's a member of EAA and had just got back from Oshkosh, but was looking for some bed and breakfast in town. So we gave him your information. So, all right. So again, I want to thank you all for coming. There's about 70 some of you in here. It's televised. Larry McHugh always does a great job of making sure he captures this on camera so that we can share it with the community that couldn't be here this morning. We appreciate the business sponsorships every single month, in particular this month with Knoll Chiropractic, being able to allow you to jump out of bed, get ready real quick, and come down for coffee and muffins and enjoy time together. And I appreciate the time that all of our speakers have put together to make sure that they provide lots of really good information. And it's always fun to hear people like Jacob who talk about what an amazing community that we have and how wonderful Independence is, and it wouldn't be possible without all of you and your support. So have a great weekend. Thank you for coming, and September the 6th is our next First Friday. Take your calendars, come down for movie night. If it's not your thing, head out to the football stadium and cheer on the Pirates as they take on Dodge City, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you.